Hi everybody, another great week of classes and some really good results, so well done to every one of you. It's the first week in June, which is hard to believe, and where has this 6 months of the year gone? It's quite incredible. It's the bank holiday weekend, the June bank holiday weekend. Restaurants and things are opening next week, so there's a lot of positive and a lot of nice things happening at the moment, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm really looking forward to going out for dinner next week. 6 months of cooking, I'm absolutely sick of it at this stage. So, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure loads of you are looking forward to maybe going out for a bite to eat next week as well. But let's work with the bank holiday first, and like the bank holiday weekend, traditionally it's a lot of us might have gone away before for this weekend. I know we're not going away this weekend. We are going to a barbecue though on Saturday in a friend's house. So there's a couple of few of us getting together, and I'm really looking forward to that, safely outdoors. But you know what? It's been a long time. I don't know about you, but it's been a long time since I went anywhere else but my own house to eat. And then next week I'm looking forward to going away with my girlfriends on Friday of next week, which we were meant to do months ago, and we had a big birthday to celebrate, but we're doing it now next week, and I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm looking forward to a bit of a change of scenery and everything, but like that as well, when you're trying to stick to plan, sometimes when you're going out for dinner or you're going over to other people's houses to eat or whatever, it kind of makes you think about, God, what can I have, or what can I do, or whatever, And I always say, well, the first thing, isn't it lovely to be getting dressed up again? And isn't it lovely to be going out? And, I'm looking forward to, sleeping in another bed next week. I'm looking forward to being away from my house for a night, But, all of that, it's like it's all a bit strange and almost a little bit new again. So, when it comes to eating out, and particularly whether it's, as I said, going to somebody's house for a barbecue or eating out, the one thing, and people often say to me is, oh God, I'm worried, my friend, she's big into her heavy foods and everything, and I'm trying to stick to the plan and everything. But there's a couple of rules of thumb when it comes to eating out, or as I said, going to other people's houses as well, The first one is, I often say, if you've got doing something at the weekend, you start preparing for it on the Monday or Tuesday beforehand. I often think we start thinking about what we're going to wear days before we go out. And I know I'm already thinking about next week about what I'm going to wear, because I'm so excited about it, firstly. But when it comes to going out for dinner or going over to somebody's house to eat, the first thing you can do is start working on saving some of your bites for the weekend. So we all know that we can earn extra bites each day from exercise. So a good brisk 30-minute walk would earn you 2 bites. And you can always bank them and store them to keep and to use at the weekend. And at the weekend, over one night, you can use a maximum of extra 14 bites. So if you're having a few glasses of wine, or as I said, you're going out for dinner or something, you can use that bite that you've earned during the week. So they're earned bites that you've earned from during the week that you can carry forward and you can use them at the weekend. And that is a great one to have. So it means you can have your few glasses of wine, or your dessert, or you can have your nice fancy starter, or whatever it might be. And you still, can keep yourself on track and get straight back into things the day after. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you are going out for dinner, we work on that one first. I often think a good idea is to have a look at the menu before you go. And most places have their menu on their website or on their Facebook page, And I often think a good time to look at their menu is maybe during the week when you're in a good frame of mind, or you're in a unison frame of mind, and you're trying to be good and trying to make good choices and everything. And I often think that's a great one, because you can have a look at the menu, rather than waiting until you get to the restaurant, and you've made your idea, you've a good idea in your head what you're going to have, Also, it's a really good idea as well, because you haven't had that glass of wine maybe before you put your order in as well. And I sometimes think when you go to a restaurant and you know exactly what you're going to have, the chances are you're probably going to stick to it as well. So that's a good one. The other one as well is decide whether you're going to have your starter and a main course, or a main course and dessert. I'm definitely a starter person. I always like to have my starter, because I'm happy enough to have maybe a taste of my husband's dessert afterwards, whether it's whatever he has. A spoon of that and a nice coffee is usually enough for me as well. So during the week, you've worked really hard, you've trekked, you've done everything right, and you've thought about what you're going to wear. You might be getting your hair blow dried, all these things we can do again. And there we are, come Saturday, and you're heading out on Saturday night, The first thing I'd say to you is, You know, if you're going out that night, you're going to be as good as gold during the day, okay? You know, maybe if you wanted to have your breakfast as normal, have your lunch as normal, and if you want, then you could keep some carb for the evening if you want to do that. Make sure you're drinking loads of water on the day you go out, and make sure that you get out for your walk as well. But very, very important, I'd always say the biggest mistake we can do is go out on an empty stomach. Now I know some of us there, like, you like to go out and be hungry going out and you'll enjoy your meal more and everything. But when you go out on an empty stomach, and particularly if like you're meeting people and you might be a little bit delayed, or the food is delayed coming out, you know, there's a couple of things you do. Well, firstly, you end up drinking a lot because you're hungry, so the wine in front of you has been drunk back very quickly. Or secondly, you make bad choices when it comes to ordering food. So I always say, when you're going out for dinner in the evening, a couple of hours before you go out, maybe have something like a yogurt and a banana free on the plan, or you could have a piece of brown bread and a small bowl of soup or something like that. Something that's just going to sustain you when you've gone out. And I've gone out to things in the past, I've had something small to eat, and my husband is always going to starve himself. And you know, I remember going out to one night, a dinner dance, and the food was completely delayed, and it was almost 11 o'clock before people got their food, and everybody was starving, and everybody ended up having far too much to drink. And you know, I was absolutely fine because I'd eaten something small before I went out. So that's a really good time. It means when you go out, you know, you're ordering food and stuff, you know, it also means things like the bread, they bring out the bread, you're not lashing into bread and stuff as well because you're so hungry. So that's a really important thing to do, and that means that you're taking control of your night out as well. Go out, enjoy things when you're having, make sure you're drinking loads of water. For every glass of water, every glass of wine, whatever you have your loads of water as well. So keep an eye on those things too. And then what I'd say to it is go straight back on plan the next day. Right, so that's eating out. That's one thing, okay? What if you're going to somebody's house? And this is often where the difficulties lie. Because people often say to me, God, I don't know what they're going to serve. I've no idea. You know, the chances are you're just going to be given food. So that's a really hard one as well. And also if you're given food, sometimes the plate's piled high as well. And then there's dessert, and then you feel you're kind of obliged to have everything that you're given because, you know, you're over in somebody's house and you want to, you know, you want to kind of feel like you don't want to look like or be awkward or be difficult or anything like that as well, you know. And I'd say to you, it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it still is your choice. And, you know, there's no harm even if you go to somebody's house and, oh, look, I'm really trying to be good, or, you know, I'm really trying to lose a bit of weight or something. People don't mind, and chances are they're probably trying to do the same as well, you know. And try and make those good choices. And, you know, I often think if you're with a couple, a great one I find is pass it on to my husband, you know, and that's a grand one as well. Another one is if you're helping yourself, fill your plate up. Always fill up with loads of salad as well, because that leaves less space for them to put all the bits and pieces on as well, you know. And remember as well, a lot of things, particularly if it is a barbecue or something you're going for, you know, things like your chicken and your steak would be free in the plan, like things like your prawns would be free on the plan as well. You could always use your bites then that you've saved up during the week if you're having a sausage, and if you're having a lean burger, that would be free in the plan. A really good one if you're having a burger is don't have the bread, just have the burger on its own as well. You know, great one too. Things like your coleslaw, you don't know what's been added to it, so just take a little bit, but fill up on the things that are free as well, you know. And don't feel that you have to do something like, you know, you could always ask if there's a nice big roulade there, and then kind of ask for a small bit, ask for a little taste of it, you know, because sometimes that's enough, and sometimes they go, well, that's fine, I'll just give you a little taste of it. And don't be afraid to say those things as well. I'd say particularly as well when you're out and you're in somebody else's house, you know, it's very easy for the wine just to be filled up as well. We've all been there, and you turn around and you've half a glass of wine left. Next thing it's filled up again. It never goes below the half glass. It's constantly being filled up. And you know, you've really no idea what you're having as well. So keep an eye on that and put the hand over, you know, or make sure, finish your glass. Don't let them fill it up, and say to them, listen, oh, let me just finish this and I'll get more in a minute, or I can help myself. Or even just top it up with a little bit of water as well. So there are loads of things that you can do as well. So bank holiday weekend this weekend, and some of you, you know, may be going away. You're lucky enough to go away. I know most of us probably aren't. We're home again. And you know, it's like that again. Like a bank holiday is just like a longer version of the weekend, you know. So if you're doing really good during the week, really try and keep things going over the weekend, okay? You know, plan your meals, plan what you're going to have. It looks like it's going to be a nice weekend, so maybe do have the barbecue outside. You know, if you're going out to the beach for a day, which some of you might be doing as well, it's so easy to come back, and because maybe you've been organised and you're all tired of being on the beach, it's very easy to go for the takeout and stuff like that as well. you know, if you know you're going to do something, you could always have a lasagna or something cooked at home, straight into the oven, ready to go as well, you know. And what I'd also say about the weekend is, look, enjoy the bank holiday weekend, you know, enjoy it if you're spending time with your family, or maybe you're reconnecting with family that you haven't seen for a long, long time, and which is the case for a lot of people at the moment, you know. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy having people around, take time to appreciate seeing people again and the nice weather, and, you know, try not to get too stressed out if you're trying to organise things as well. Take some time for yourself, a couple of deep breaths, look after yourself. Self-care is so important as well. And no matter what happens to the weekend, and even after everything I've said to you, and you know, you do go completely off track, you know what, that's not the end of the world either. It happens to the best of us, okay? So just get back into things on Monday. You've loads of time again since class, and most importantly, no matter what, don't miss a week next week, because you know what? A week will turn into 2, and 2 will turn into 3. And before you know it, a month has passed by. So let's make this June a brilliant, brilliant month for all of us. Let's get out every day, doing our walking, drinking our water, writing down everything we eat. Let's continue with the great weight loss we've had. But in the meantime, have a lovely, lovely bank holiday weekend. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye-bye now.